PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. So if you're watching this, maybe you saw the title on there, trauma, ways to address it, coping, triggers, something in there maybe drew your attention. My name is Dr. Juan Santos. I'm a licensed counselor, owner of Santos Counseling. I wanted to take a moment here to briefly look at PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, from the perspective of how to begin the process of addressing trauma. Now, first, I want to strongly encourage working with a professional, whether it's a counselor over at my practice, Santos Counseling. We have a lot of really great trained, licensed clinicians. So when you're living with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, that means you've experienced or been part of or close to a trauma. Now that can be a trauma directly connected to you. It could be a secondary trauma. Maybe you were there, whether you saw it, maybe heard it. And going through this experience, it often leaves a mark, right? Almost like a tattoo on you. And the mark can have side effects. So side effects could be that you feel on edge. Maybe you feel that you're always on guard, hypervigilant. Maybe you're in certain situations and you have these flashbacks that keep coming up, right? So they're really pulling you away from the here and now, and you don't like it, right? It's causing distress in your life. So what I want you to consider is I want you to consider these two ways that you can approach bringing calmness, a sense of relief. And relief is like this ripple effect that starts to address the healing process. So number one is you start from the body up. Body up meaning you do something to your body to then alert the mind, hey, I'm okay. Or you start from the mind and then work your way down. So you do something to the mind that lets it know, hey, I'm safe, I'm okay. And then it works its way down to the body. And I'll share an example of each one. So before going into the example, we need to really talk about what's happening. And when we use a case here, so let's say that you've lived a traumatic experience where you're part of some robbery at a bank. And that leads to you being in certain situations where you're around a lot of people, high volume of individuals, really crowded traffic. So you feel rapid heart rate, right? A symptom there of trauma. Maybe you can't think straight, right? Problems focusing and concentrating. And maybe you feel really on edge, you feel like something bad's gonna happen, and you start having these thoughts. And it's problematic because you're not in that situation, right? No robbery is happening. So here's the two ways you can look at working through this. And once again, I'll share in the videos a strong disclaimer, right? This is a conversation that we're having here on a very novice level. It's important to work with a licensed clinician, and that could be me, it could be somebody at my practice, working with somebody licensed to really go into that area with depth, right? Go into the foundation of it and get to know you, because your case can be really unique. So here, I'm in that situation I shared with you, that case, and an approach that I could take is I could start with my body. So I could figure out, how can I relax my body? And maybe it's through breathing, right? So I do some respiration, some deep breaths. And the goal is to relax the body enough so that those signals go up and let the mind know, I'm safe, I'm okay. And then once you can do that, it lets you tap into the here and now just long enough for you to begin to do secondary actions to support in that process of addressing the negative or unwanted symptoms you have from the trauma symptoms taking place. The other strategy, right, we start from the top. So now we go up here and work our way down. So one could be like a phrase. And the phrase could be, I'm safe, right? And I want you to think about that. If you tell yourself, I'm safe, well, what do you think happens to the body? Well, more than likely the body relaxes. But just like if you say, oh my God, I'm scared, more than likely the body's gonna get tense, right? So those are two avenues. Now, the reason I wanted to create this video is to let you know that support is around, and to let you know a little bit, right? Just almost opening the door just a little bit, enough for you to see, all right, this is what trauma support can look like. And there's a lot of different modalities when it comes to supporting individuals with trauma, supporting individuals with post-traumatic stress disorder. So if you have questions, reach out to the office, reach out to Santos Counseling. We're more than happy to support, to answer your questions, get you started with counseling. Have a great rest of the day.